Hey, Steve Coomer here, and I wanted to talk about a sort of secret spot, I think, because nobody really ever talks about them. A secret spot that you can catch a giant smallmouth bass. And that is an absolutely smooth, featureless concrete wall. What? Yeah, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? I know, you're thinking I've lost it this time, but let me explain. You want a wall that's smooth, probably at least 20 feet long so that it's got the length to do this, and situated in really swift current. And what happens is, this picture here, I took looking down on this wall. This wall's about a foot and a half wide, I guess, and this water out in front of it is anywhere from about a foot and a half to about 3 feet deep, depending on the water level of the river at any given time. And the current out in front of here is pretty featureless. The bottom is flat, and it is really, really fast. And, excuse me, and this is a spot that I have caught at least two 20-inch smallmouth bass. Maybe three. I can't remember, but I'm certain of two. Yep, I'm showing you a picture of somewhere that I called a 20-inch smallmouth bass. And, anyway, what happens is this fast current is ripping along this wall. And see where it's hitting the wall here? And it's dragging, and this is faster, and this is rubbing against the wall, and it's slower, and it drags like this. Well, this is what a hydrologist call a boundary layer right here, where it rubs against the wall. And this water here is significantly slower than this water just a few inches out right here. And as you travel down the wall, I've got another picture here. As you travel down the wall, that friction gets so great that that boundary layer is ripped away from the wall, and you get all these vortices and all this little turbulence here. And now this water, because it's ripped apart and all turbulent, doesn't have near the downstream flow. It is a fraction of what it is out here. And there's a little spot here, right here, just alongside the wall, this maybe 6 inches out or 5 inches out down the length of the wall, that is just big enough to hold a big smallmouth bass. And that smallmouth bass has got a primo spot. He's got cover of the wall, He's got a little eddy that he's laying in, and he's got current bringing him food. And not only is there current bringing him food, it's bringing him food a half inch out away from his eyeball. But he's out of the current. It's the perfect spot for a big smallmouth bass to lake. Mind you, you're never going to catch a lot of bass in a spot like this. I mean, there isn't room for a lot of bass. But I'm a firm believer that the best spot holds the best fish. So and there's a lot of walls in rivers once you start looking for them. There's walls under bridges. There's walls where bridges used to be. There's walls leading out of culverts. There's walls below dams. There's walls where some guy built a concrete wall down the length of his yard to keep it from eroding into the river, and you got a straight, smooth as a board wall, and check these out. Most of them, there's something wrong with them, but every now and then you'll go up to one and you'll look over it, and you'll see this puppy right here. And when you do, fish it hard, and fish the length of it. Take a grub and drop it over on the jig head, and fish it a good float under the rod tip, and then raise it up and get up and down the water column the length of the wall till you find that one little pocket, because he's not going to travel and hit it. He's going to lay there, and he's waiting for food to come to him. And I think that's it. I just wanted to share with you a spot that is, I never hear anybody else talk about fishing them, and I think that's one reason that smallmouth bass, get big. It takes forever for a smallmouth bass to get to be 20 inches, and he does that by fishing spots like this. By staying in spots like this where the average fisherman never throws at him. Just remember, out here, 8-10 inches a foot away from the wall, he might come out, but more than likely he's not going to. Your best bet is to present your bait within just an inch or two of the wall. Even I've taken a buzz bait on 3 foot of line and just draped it over the wall and just let it hang there in that swift current, and it's turning and clanking against the wall, clank, 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 and just bring it up, just slowly pull it up along the wall. And I've had some huge hellacious strikes from big smallmouth doing that, and that's pretty exciting when you get a smallmouth on 2.5 feet of line and he comes up and hammers a topwater. Probably the thing that I fish the most, though, is either a grub or a swim bait under a jig head. Anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to share with you a secret spot that most people don't know about. See ya.